Hey everyone, thanks for being here today on Decisive Talks. Let me just check if the stream is going well in the group because it seems like Restream is a little bit buggy recently. Let me just see. Okay, it's actually loading. Okay, that's great. So, hey everyone, thanks for being here today on Decisive Talks. Right, I'm Henry Ho, and I'm an entrepreneur, digital marketer, and most importantly, a software enthusiast, just like you and I. Right. Today I have Derek Perkins. He's the founder of Nozzle. Nozzle. I don't. People like to call it a rank tracker, which I think that is a very minute way of looking at Nozzle because I would say that Nozzle is actually a brand organic reach analytics tool. And um, after testing it out, I have a review on my YouTube channel. If you want to hop on and watch that, please go ahead. But because Nozzle gives a very different approach when it comes to rank tracking, because the Nozzle allows you to add any URLs other and not just the URLs from your domain itself, but it allows you to add guest posts, your Amazon store, your Shopify store, your your Etsy store, whatever you want to add. You can put in like directory listings and all that kind of stuff onto Nozzle and track the rankings of them on Google for all of your brand assets, right? Like guest posts that you have submitted onto someone else's website, you can add that into Nozzle as well, which I think is very interesting because I think that sometimes SEO is more than just trying to rank your own domains, because you can only get like a couple of these pages on the search results page itself. So you might as well put in some of your other brand assets so that you fill up the entire sub page with only content that is talking about your brand, right? So I'm going to bring in Derek right now. Hey, Derek, how's it going?
Great, Henry. Thanks for having me on.
Is it late in the evening where you are?
Yeah, it's after 10 p.m. where I'm at.
Also, right? And you're, still, talking about your business and working at this hour. Great respect for that. So, Derek, would you like to tell us about yourself, where you're from, and how did you get into entrepreneurship, right? And
Sure,
also, what did you see or experience that want make you want to jump into this SaaS business?
sure, yeah. So, uh, funny enough, even though I'm in the U.S. now, I actually grew up in China. I grew up in Beijing, and my dad worked there, and so I went to school there, lived there for 6 years. Um, Prior to starting Nozzle, I had a number of other businesses. I did a database business uh, 20 years ago uh, when I was started when I still was a senior in high school, back when before the iPhone was made. There was a
I see.
Pocket PC that Microsoft had that was pretty good at the time. That's what really got me into database software. I had a small detour where I manufactured office chairs in Taiwan and in southern China. So I did that for a few years, and that was
Office chairs. All right, awesome.
because as a programmer, I always hated the chairs that I sat in. Made my butt sweat. It was terrible. And so that was kind of a detour, but software really is my love. So coming back around to how I got into Nozzle, I started a website with my little brother who was 12 at the time, soccerreviews.com. And that's what really got us into SEO. We got to go to the World Cup in South Africa in 2010 with a media credential and got to do some really cool stuff there. After that, uh, I went and I was at SEO.com, a marketing agency. I was the VP of tech there for a couple years. And that was the only job that I've ever had. Wasn't a company I started, so I've always been an entrepreneur. And while I was
But
there,
was that a like a real job or more like a consulting role?
that was a real job. It's the first and only like actual paycheck that I got
I
from a
see.
company I didn't run. I was getting married, and my wife kind of said, "So you're going to support us on a soccer blog?" And so I went and took that job for a couple years. And while I was there, that's when all these other rank trackers and these SEO tools, the big enterprise manufacturers came to find us and pitch us on their products. And it all seemed it was like too expensive, or it didn't do exactly what we wanted, or they were hiding data from us. And it was just very frustrating. And so that's what led to starting Nozzle, was saying, I want to make SEO and ranking data available to everybody.
That I mean, you have a really impressive history. I am really impressed by by what you have just shared with me. You grew up in China. 你会讲中文吗？
我会。
哇，厉害，very 很标准啊！哇，might be even more fluent than myself. And you don't just dabble in the software business, but you are also in the physical product business as well. Is that office chair business still running?
No, back when the economy crashed around the world, that didn't do so hot for office chair businesses.
That was about 10 years ago. Is that
Yep.
right? Right, but if you were to keep it up till today, I'm sure you would be selling a lot, right? Because of COVID, a lot of people are staying at home. When COVID hit, I think like the we had IKEA, right, in Singapore, and
Yeah.
like people were queuing up like crazy. It's like there were the queue is going round and round around the outside of the IKEA building. It's pretty 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 crazy because people, the kids got to study at home, the parents got to work at home, and office
Yep.
chair was selling like crazy then, right? I think it's very exciting, and you have done businesses in China, and an online businesses. You have done not just stuff in SEO, but you know even write content. I think that's very very interesting, and I think that people who are watching this right now are, I think that they feel a lot more confident about Nozzle, because people don't really know when a deal goes live on AppSumo. People just think, oh, it's another deal, but they don't know the
Right.
man behind it, right? And I think that this gives you a very good platform to share with all of us. So and I saw that it's not just the community talking about Nozzle, but we had some impressive founders from other SaaS business talking about Nozzle as well. There was a big shout out that I saw on the Market Muse community talking about Nozzle and endorsing Nozzle as well, right? Like, how did you
Yep.
get in touch with these people in the SEO industry? How did you meet them, and network with them?
Yeah. So Nozzle's been around. We started it in 2014. So it's been around for 7 years, primarily focused on enterprise business. And so we have a smaller amount of very large customers. And so everything was, we would do white glove onboarding. We would manually set up people's accounts, get them started. And during that time, we exhibited a lot of major SEO events. We networked. So we've been around. We've known people in the industry, and we've worked with Jeff and the team over at Market Muse for a while now.
I
So
see.
we've been
So,
around
so
a long time. This is just our first real launch into kind of the general public.
I see. So it's more like you're trying to jump into more like the B2C businesses right now, rather than so than focusing just on the enterprise business, and that's why you launch
Right.
a lifetime deal,
Yep.
right? Also,
So
yeah, go ahead.
so right in that Ahref SEMrush kind of, you know, click in, get started, get going. That's not the big enterprise deal.
Yeah, I think that I think a lot of people are feeling that, well, this is Nozzle is the backing for Nozzle seems really impressive so far, right? So you did talk a little bit about why you came up with Nozzle, but do you want to elaborate on that a little bit, like because I see that you are it seems like other rank trackers, right? What they are doing is they just just pick out the your sub result. That's
Yep.
all. And if you want to be tracking your competitors, it seems like it consumes a lot more keyword checks, or
Yep.
keywords, credits that you get. So I think that it seems way more sense what you're doing, right, Derek, that you just take a snapshot of the sub results, and whatever domains or competitors that you put in, it does not consume more credits. I think that
Right.
that should be the fair way, it because if you're already taking a snapshot, then you shouldn't uh
Yeah. The
you
data's all
shouldn't
there.
need to use more keyword credits, right? So would you like to elaborate on why you are doing this? Why do you choose this model for Nozzle?
Sure. Yeah. I've got a couple of points there. First off, I want to say that, I really appreciate, I feel like you have really caught on to the vision of Nozzle, that, right, rank tracker really, as a word, sells it short. We really are a full SERP monitoring tool. We're monitoring your brand anywhere it is, whether it's your site, whether it's a social media site, external guest blog post, any of the things that you listed. Because again, that's what really, one of the things that frustrates me about the industry is they assume that your domain is your brand, but it's not, right? We're all, this is a
Yeah,
community of entrepreneurs and online marketers, and you have social media properties. You're pushing things through so many different channels. And if you're not, you're, not doing a good job as being a digital marketer. And
yeah,
so your tools ignore all of this other work that you're doing to rank and get traffic.
yeah, because when I was testing it out, I just thought, oh, this is just another rank tracker that just doesn't consume more credits. But when I started to deep dive into it, then I realized that, wow, this is something different. This is not a rank tracker, right? This is, like you said, like a brand monitoring tool, or I would say, brand organic reach analytics tool, where you can see, like there are some other tools out there, like for example, AccuRanker and a bunch of other rank tracker tools. They talk about like your share of voice, but
Yeah,
I don't think that that is a very good way of saying, oh, share of voice, because your brand, which is of your domain, they are also part of your your voice, I would say. Right? I think
exactly.
that gives a better idea of how we are actually appearing in the search results. How much of the search results are we actually um taking over, right? I was really impressed by Nozzle. So the name Nozzle, like, how did you came up with that? People are already making fun of
Yeah.
SaaS names, because we've got so many um I would say lewd name that's been coming along, right? We've got Right Cream, we've got Skill Nuts, we've got what else? Sticky Password. Like, so how did you came up with Nozzle? Does it have any meaning behind the name other than uh I don't know, funneling things together? Let
I mean,
me
that right there is the main reason we came up with it. Was, right, we're saying let's grab all this information on the internet and funnel it into one spot that's easy to analyze and understand it. and the .com wasn't taken. We don't know who owns it. We do hope to post it at some point.
Awesome. Yeah. So I think that I'm pretty good at guessing the names of like why did you choose these names, but of course sometimes some of the SaaS founders that I interview on my show, they tell me that we actually don't have an idea why we choose this name. Right? But Nozzle, I think that's a good idea as well, putting all your brand assets into one single sort of like a dashboard for us to look at everything, right? So could you share with us also where you think Nozzle stands out from your competitors? I've already mentioned the so, sort of the brand organic reach idea, but what else do you think that you can stand out from your competitors, or you are trying to push as a feature to stand out from competitors? Because there is also a rank tracker that is also on lifetime deal right now, which I would say people are really competing between, comparing between you guys, and they also allow you to add competitors as well without consuming more keyword checks as well, right? So, where do you think you can stand out from your competitors? We have other rank trackers out in the market as well, right?
So yeah, a couple of things. One is going back to one of the reasons that we started Nozzle and why things are organized the way they are. Other tools, including Rank Tracker that's running right now, they base it on keywords and not on the number of checks or keyword polls or whatever you want to call it. And to me, that's very frustrating as a consumer because that's how most tools in the past have priced it. But the thing is, not every keyword has the same value. And so if everything is a daily check, or if you're on Moz and it's a weekly check, or right, whatever the frequency is, you're getting, so like Rank Tracker, you get 1,000 keywords. But some of those keywords are really important and maybe you want them daily, and some keywords aren't that important, and getting them weekly or monthly would be just fine. And so when you allow for custom scheduling, you can say, oh, well, I actually want 25,000 keywords monthly, because I'm not, right, you can't focus on 30,000 keywords at a time. You're only actually focusing on 100, a couple hundred, obviously depending on, your size of agency or team, but right. So those are the ones that you want daily, or in some instances, Nozzle lets you do hourly, or, even more often than just daily. And so you can split up your usage to where your most important keywords get pulled the most and other ones don't get pulled at all.
Yeah.
And
I think that,
additionally,
anything else to add on?
Additionally, tools in the past, as if once you wanted to stop tracking a keyword, they would delete all your history. And so like as an agency at SEO.com, it was really frustrating because we might work with the client for 2 or 3 years and they would leave, that's the agency life. Customers are eventually going to leave. But what we wanted to do was keep their history around, and maybe you pull keywords instead of daily, you pull it once a month or once a quarter, and you use that to say, you go back to them in 6 months and say, hey, we saw your rankings really dropped after you left us.
Yeah.
Why don't you come back home?
Yeah, I think that's a good way, right? Yeah, and I think that's a good idea where you can set custom scheduling. um and I think you're right, because sometimes there's no need for us to be tracking so many keywords. You've like thousands of keywords and tracking them on a daily basis. You don't want to look at a report that contains all the less important keywords that you're not trying to rank for as of now, right? I think that's a good idea. But is there a need to actually do like hourly tracking at all? Hourly
So
tools at
for
all?
the average marketer, there's probably not a huge need for it. But depending on what industry you're in, if you're in a news
News,
segment,
yeah.
right?
I
News
just thought of that
changes
as well.
really fast, right?
Yep.
Or we had one customer that did lead generation, and basically they had the top, like two, I think they had 8 or 9 of the top 10 results for a very high traffic keyword term. And they had a whole call center that when you visited these sites, they would come in. But let's say like a news pack showed up, because it pushed all of their results down and some of them off the first page, they would see their call center volume drop by 30%. And so they were tracking hourly because that would help them know what's the estimated call volume that's going to be coming in
So that they
based
can
on
assign their
one.
agents, is it?
Yep.
Right. I see. I see. That's a good idea. In fact, they are not even trying to use rank trackers to manage the SEO anymore, but more of resource allocation, right? I think
Yep.
that's a very interesting way of using Nozzle as well, right? So
Another
yep.
another way you might use it is because if you want to understand ads better, right? SEO, there's going to be some fluctuation during the day, but typically not a ton. But the ads are going to rotate much faster. And so if you want to get a better idea of what ads are running, you might say, hey, pull this 10 or 100 times during business hours. So I get an idea what competitors are running ads, who's running the most ads, what sort of ad extensions are showing up, all that kind of stuff.
I see. So we can actually use Nozzle to capture AdWords ads as well
Correct.
from our competitors. Awesome. That's very interesting. I I didn't know about that. I think I missed out on my video. Right. So if it's not confidential, sorry, what do you see in the future of Nozzle? Like what kind of other um what are you trying to create with Nozzle, let's say in a much further future from now, and what excites you the most where it's heading so far?
So one thing that we really want to do at Nozzle is we're very, very good at data. Nobody has more SERP data than we do, and we're good at handling it at big scale, and we're also dumping it into BigQuery for you. And if you look at kind of the bleeding edge of SEO today, you see a lot of uh, technical SEOs they're starting to write Python and do a lot of data engineering and building pipelines where they say, okay, get the top 10 results and then go crawl those pages and see what does the text look like on those pages. Let's run it through some Google AI and do entity extraction to see what kinds of content and things that they're talking about. Let's pull backlink data on all those pages. Let's, the list is endless for
Yep.
the things you might want to see. What technologies are they running? Is it a WordPress site? Is it React? Are they using Google Analytics? Are they using HubSpot? And so the idea is that you'll be able to opt into all of this extra data. You'll say, okay, you can provide some conditions in your Nozzle setup and say, hey, for any results that match these conditions where rank is higher than 10 or search volume is greater than 1,000, crawl those URLs and give me all of this extra metadata. And that way you'll have even more data available to you and you won't have to spend your time, right, doing Excel, copying and pasting or hooking it into, I can't remember, Grist. Is that one of the recent,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
the,
Chris.
what, Pabbly Connect?
Yeah.
Right? You don't have to be building your own data pipelines because most people want the same types of information. And so we can do all that data enrichment for you. And then you can spend your time as a digital marketer making sense of the data and making recommendations off of it.
Yeah, I'm actually starting to see that the SEO industry it's getting more and more in depth in the past couple of years. We started out with just like backlinks and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
people are going really deep. You can see like the SEO content optimizations tools that are popping out like crazy right now.
Yeah.
And also, people are actually, deep diving into more advanced SEO factors such as TF-IDF as well, and people are also building a lot of SEO and uh, tools right now that I'm seeing, which I think it's a good sign that I think the industry is really maturing, but it's also at the same time getting more competitive. But we marketers, right, SEO marketers are having a better time for us because more choices for us to choose from, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So if it's not confidential as well, would you be able to share certain plans of Nozzle that we will be able to see in, let's say, the midterm, right? Maybe 6 to 8 months from now.
Yeah, so starting off short term, you'll see when you log into Nozzle, there's a lot of coming soon dashboards. That data already exists. We've already parsed it out. It's in BigQuery. It's just sitting there waiting to be consumed. You can already get at most of it by clicking on the various segments that are available to you, but it's not as easy as we'd like it to be. So the next, 3 to 6 months is a focus on really making it simpler and easier to use so that you can click on, hey, I'm interested in featured snippets. I'm going to click on the featured snippet dashboard. Tell me everything I could possibly want to know about featured snippets. Or I click on the local dashboard or videos or right whatever SERP features are the most important to your business, and
Wow.
we get that.
Wow. I mean, let me just because I'm in the dashboard right now because the I just logged in right now. Let me just share with everyone what is going on with Nozzle right here. So you can see that they have, so previously when I did the video on Nozzle, it was just this section right here, right? And now we are getting a whole bunch of stuff with the sub feature, like the is there an overview, is there a feature snippet, is there a local feature, is there videos, images, and all that kind of stuff that's going on in Nozzle, right? I think this would be really great for us to actually look at the keyword and try and optimize to get into some of the sub features on the page itself. And just to sidetrack a little bit, because this Derek was speaking to me before the live, and he wanted me to show everyone that he has just put up a page on the rewards, right? So I'm going to be doing all this for sure right after this call. But we have you can actually get a lot more keyword pools for your Nozzle account if you follow some of these tasks that you're supposed to perform. So if you retweet, you get 50 more pulls. If you retweet testimonials, you get another 50. If you tweet about Nozzle, you get 100 pulls. Post a screenshot and you get another 100 pulls. You post your thoughts on LinkedIn, you get 250 pulls. You post a review on Trustpilot, you get 1,000. You post a review on Captura, you get 1,000. You post a review on G2, you get 1,000. And if you post a review on your own website, you get another 2,000, right? So you are getting 5,400, sorry, 5,500 or so additional keyword pools. Oops, sorry, I realized I forgot to share my screen here. My bad. Yeah, because I was switching tabs, I couldn't see it. Let me just move my screen over here. Yep. So yep. So previously, right, you get all these features weren't around here, right? So Derek will be adding these sub features in very soon, right? And then this is the rewards page that you guys can check out, right? So Brijesh, right, thanks for commenting. I think Fira also commented in on the chat as well. So be sure to log into your Nozzle account. If you have already purchased Nozzle, right? Check out the rewards page. There's a bunch of stuff that you can do to get like more than 5,000 over additional keyword pools, right? So be sure to check it out, right? Awesome, right, Derek? A lot of new features are coming in. I think that sub features, and we can create our own dashboard from it. I think that would be really exciting for us.
Yep.
So a bunch of people will also commenting about your UI that it seems a little bit confusing. I personally don't have a issue right now. Of course, when I first logged in to my account, I felt that okay, it's a little bit challenging. But
Yeah.
after spending a little bit of time on what to do, I kind of got the hang of it right now. But I think it may seem a little bit challenging for newbies, especially those who don't really know anything about SEO as well. So they're just
Right.
jumping in. It can be a little bit challenging as well. Will there be a refresh of the UI, or maybe you would have some kind of user guiding that's going on to help people to be onboarded to Nozzle?
Yep. That's going to be our main focus over the next few months, is making it easier to use. Um, I don't want to. I wouldn't say that we're planning on doing a refresh, but again, the plan is there will be much simpler screens, and then if you do want to dive into the deep data that's very dense and data rich, those will still be available to you, but you won't necessarily be faced with them on the first time you log in.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
the
I
idea
think that's
there.
great, right? Because sometimes when we are new to a tool, when there's too much information going on the dashboard, once we logged in, it can be very challenging. But once we get used to the tool, then we want to access the data much faster as well. So I think
Right.
this is something I think every tool that's out in the market is trying to solve as well with their user experience, right?
Yep,
So
you have to find the right balance between, again, because we've been enterprise focused and we've done hands-on training with all of our customers before, right? They liked that they could see so much data about anything in a single screen.
yeah,
But
because
obviously,
yeah,
for your
because
first time
serving
on,
the enterprise clients and serving the sort of the public or the general market, it'll be different, right? Because with enterprise clients, they're paying you a lot of money, so you got the time to
yeah,
sit down with them and onboard them, right? But with the the public, the general public, it's you got to make things easier for them so that they can self discover about the brilliance
yeah,
of Nozzle, right? So, could you share
exactly.
about your team? How many developers, customer support, designers you have? How are they like? Do they keep you motivated to want to create that vision of Nozzle that you have? Right, I can see you smiling so far. I'm sure you're excited to share about them. Any fun activities as well that you do with your team to bond?
Sure, yeah, that's a great question. Not one that I get a ton. Yeah, so we have three original founders. If you go to the about page on Nozzle, you'll see the three of us. All three of us are technical. We're all programmers, and so Nozzle has always been a very, as is probably obvious. We love data. We're data nerds, and we are excited to get all that data out to everyone. Um, Compared to, right, there's other tools that were founded by sales or marketers. That's not a bad thing necessarily, but uh, it ends up with a different kind of culture. And at Nozzle, our culture is very technical. We don't want to ship anything unless the data is right, it's accurate, and we have a lot built around that. We don't have any full-time salespeople. Uh, Again, we are mostly developers with a few marketing and kind of back office people, doing all the payroll and business
Yeah, just
paperwork.
to keep the business running, right? I can see, you are you've got three, founders, and you seem to be the leader because you seem to be the biggest guy of the three of you.
I am the biggest, and running a business doesn't help me get into better shape either. Or
Yeah, I
AppSumo or
agree.
doing webinars late at night doesn't help me get up early in the morning to work out.
Yeah, but normally when you're on AppSumo or any lifetime deal, it usually just goes for a period of time, and I'm sure you your life will be back to normal once your lifetime deal ends,
Yeah.
right? So I think we have some time to take some questions because I think that there are some comments coming in before I jump into some of my other questions that we have. So we have a question here from, let me see, this is Fira Lassa, right? So Fira Lassa, thanks for being part of our community here. And she has a question. She says, Derek, can you please explain more about for tracking in Amazon section from the Nozzle blog post? And then she sent a link in there. Um, I could somewhat try and explain. Basically, Nozzle allows you to add your Amazon store links in there so you can track them. But maybe Derek would like to elaborate.
Yeah, exactly. Right. If you're selling products on Amazon, uh, again, you don't want to track all of Amazon as your brand because clearly
Yep.
that's not you.
Yep.
But you're going to have potentially, depending, right? There's two different types of customers on Amazon. One, you're a reseller, and so you want to know when certain products showing up on Amazon that may or may not be your own, but you're a reseller, and so that will help you track their popularity and what keywords you might optimize to show up for those. And then second, if you're the manufacturer, there might be lots of resellers, and right, you'll have your own Amazon store page plus you'll have a page for every individual product, and so you can add each and every one of those product pages to your brand so that you can see when your product is showing up in Google search results.
Wow, I tell you, Derek, I'm so impressed by what you just said because it opened up my mind to so many possibilities because I really like that you have that experience working with your office chair business because I really like that idea because you understand like the physical product business as well in some ways that manufacturers um like because I resell a bunch of brands as well, and I think like my principal brand could really benefit from like Nozzle because they are selling like everywhere in the world, and they 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 just don't know what's going on with the individual markets, right? And I think that
Yeah,
it's not just Amazon, but like every physical store that sells their product would probably have a website as well, and they just want to know how their brand is doing, right? And I think this not I mean this tool Nozzle is it solves a lot of problem for these resellers, brand owners, in the way that it solves all their needs in terms of managing how they look like on the organic search results. Right, very very interesting tool and use cases. Right, so we let's take some more questions here. We got Brijesh here, right? Brijesh, hi, right? And he asked, can you please share use case for solo professional you doing DIY content marketing? Let me give a little bit of my input first, and then we have Derek to elaborate on. Because I'm a user of Nozzle, right? So I put my directory listings, I put my gas posts, I put my of course my own domains, my Amazon store, and I put my other stores in as well. Of course, they're not on Amazon, but they're from because I sell in Singapore. They have we have other marketplaces other than Amazon. I put those in as well, so that is great for tracking. Like your brand assets all across. Just using Nozzle itself. Right. So, Derek, do you have any other use cases for solo entrepreneur making use of Nozzle?
Yeah, I mean, you gave a pretty good introduction. Other similar use cases we see are we've got certain, entrepreneurs that there might be like one Quora question that they're the top answer for that drives them a ton of traffic. And so they'll track that Quora question and see
Yep.
how often is this showing up. Or individual YouTube videos. That's something that no other tool does well because it's hard since there's not a convenient prefix to track. And so we've
Yeah.
got a YouTube importer, and you can track where your videos are showing up in Google,
Yeah.
because Google really loves to promote YouTube content, unsurprisingly.
Yeah. I mean, just a small plug in here, right? Guys, check out my YouTube channel, subscribe to me. But I'm starting to see, because I started this channel not long ago, I think about 3 months ago, and I'm starting to see my videos appearing more and more often in the search results in Google, not YouTube, but Google as well, right? And I think this will be really useful because Nozzle is also taking snapshots of the sub pages so that you can so that they can actually pull in the featured snippets, the YouTube results in the all pages as well, right? So you're grabbing all this information to know how you are doing in the search results, right? So we have another question in here.
I can just say
Yep.
one other thing there on the YouTube, specifically for videos. Typically, they'll show like 3 at a time, and then there's an interactive carousel that will
Yep.
show. There's usually 10 or so videos in that carousel, and even if it's not visible, we can report and say, "Hey, you're number 7 in this carousel." So you're really
Wow.
close to being
Wow.
on
Wow.
the front page, which you're obviously going to get more clicks than if someone has to, page
Yep.
over 3 times.
Yep. I think
So
that's
that
that
will,
that is
even
interesting.
when you're not getting the traffic yet, we can tell you when you're on the cusp, and just a little bit of extra momentum might really send you a lot more traffic.
Yeah, I think that is interesting. You can even track where you are in the carousel search results, right? I think they have a new format as well, which is they show like I think 1 to 3 videos, and then they give you sort of like a timestamp as well. I think that's a
Yeah.
new feature, sort of a snippet, new video snippet from YouTube in the Google search results, right?
And
So
we'll also let you know, does your video, is it showing up with the, I can't remember offhand, like, important timestamps?
yeah.
Like, we actually pull in all of those timestamps. We'll tell you what's showing up, what Google thinks are the important parts of your video. So all of that is available in the Nozzle data.
Awesome. So we have another question here, which is could you tell us the difference between basic and advanced tiers in AS?
So the only difference, if you go to the nozzle.io/pricing page, you'll see those are our standard pricing tiers. We have a basic and advanced. And even if you click all the way to the right to the $10,000 a month plus enterprise plans, it
Yep.
has the exact same features that you get in the basic plan. The
Okay.
only difference is how much you're paying for any additional keyword polls on top of what your plan includes.
Okay, so let me just pull up the screen very quickly. So this is the Nozzle pricing page, right? So of course, um, Derek might increase the price later on after the lifetime deal, and they get a lot of customers, right? But this is what is going on as of now when we are doing this video. It is you get 10. Of course, it depends on the plan that you have, but the difference is only just the overage pricing. So it will cost you $5.88 per 1,000 pools. The only all features are all included in all the different plans. The only difference is the price that you will be paying when you need more pools on top of your current limit. Is that correct, Derek?
Correct. Yep.
Awesome. So we have another
And when we
question.
do
Yep, go
talk
ahead.
about adding future features, so the AppSumo plan, it says 21,000 polls for like the tier 3 advanced.
Yep.
The way that technically works on the back end is you're getting, I can't remember what it is offhand, but $100 a month of Nozzle usage credit, which translates to 21,000 polls. But as we add more features, you'll be able to opt into any of those future features. They'll all be usage-based pricing. So if you say, hey, I want to also get backlink data or this or that, you'll be able to do all of that with your AppSumo credit. So when you think about it, $179 gets you $100 monthly credit forever. It pays off after 6 weeks.
Okay, so you're saying that we also get some credits in our AppSumo account. Sorry, the plan that we purchase.
So you get $100 a month, which translates to the 21,000 polls. But as we add other features in the future, you might take that $100 and say, I'm going to spend $80 of that on polls and $20 on additional data that we make available in the future.
Okay, so you're saying that we are actually not given 21,000 pools, but $100 credit right now
Correct.
per month. Okay, so if there are other features that would cost more credit, then and we are using some of those, then of course it will be less pools for us. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. But you'll be able to use it for anything in the future. You're not going to be cut out of any future features, and you'll be able to apply your AppSumo dollars towards whichever features in Nozzle you find the most compelling.
Okay, so this is something for everyone to take note is that even though the deal page says 21,000 pools, if but you are actually given $100 credit, right? And when
Yep.
Derek adds a lot more other features into Nozzle, some of them may cost more credits, and then you may get less keyword pools, but you get to use some of the advanced features that they will be introducing. Okay, so something to take
Exactly.
note of. Right.
Yep.
Awesome.
You'll
Awesome.
always be able to do the 21,000 polls, no matter what changes happen in the future, pricing or otherwise. But you'll also be able to opt into other things.
Yep. Okay. So something to take note of, right? And let's jump. Okay, so we got another question here. So with Nozzle, it's possible to track particular product from Amazon. Am I knowing right? Okay, just to clarify, Nozzle does not track the search results in Amazon. It's not a Amazon search checker. It's a Google search checker. Uh, but because Amazon search results appear in the Google search results, Amazon products appear in the Google search results, so you can track your Amazon products ranking in Google with Nozzle. Yep. Do you have
Yep.
anything else to add, Derek?
It's very possible that we add Amazon tracking in the future or YouTube tracking inside of YouTube search results in the future. But you're correct. For now, it's where your YouTube videos or where your Amazon products or any other deep linked content shows up in the Google search.
Awesome, right? Derek, you are, blowing my mind right now because I sell on Amazon, right? And if I can have Nozzle to even track what is going on in my Amazon search results, that would be really really awesome. And because I'm also doing some videos on YouTube, it would be great if I know where I rank with my keywords in YouTube as well. I didn't know that you might even plan to do Amazon. I just thought that you would be introducing YouTube in the future. I think that's a very good surprise for me.
Glad
Right,
you're
so
interested.
yep. So, what are some challenges or big hurdles that your company is occupied with currently?
Obviously, the biggest one is Google's changing things all the time, and so we're always keeping up to date with whatever the latest changes are. Additionally, they continue to put more data inside the SERP, and so we're always looking at it, classifying it, and putting it into the BigQuery data schema. And then once it's there, like I mentioned, we've got 500 plus fields that you haven't even seen yet. That's not, we plan to, it already exists in your accounts in BigQuery, and we just have to show it. So that's really the biggest challenge we have is how do we take 500 fields of data and put it in front of people without making it more confusing or complex, and help them get insights and actionable things to do based on all this awesome data we do have.
Awesome, right? I would love to be able to see those data as well, right? And I guess the challenge is really trying to take those data and display it to everyone in a manner that we can process it and understand it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think, and also of course when you mentioned about Google, trying to show more data in the search results, and they are always every now and then they are always changing what is going on in the search results page. And that's, I think, part of the business where you got to continue to monitor and um, adapt your tool to what Google is doing, right?
Yep.
So how do you feel about launching a lifetime deal so far?
Um, it's been really helpful. Probably the best part so far has been the onboarding process. I think when you did, we might have even set up your account for you, I think, because we didn't even have onboarding
Yeah,
really set
I
up
was one of
for
the
day one.
first couple of people who got in, I think on the first or second day, right?
Yeah.
I
So in
wasn't
the first,
onboarded. I wasn't onboarded, but because I texted you and asked you, hey, what's going on? I
yeah,
can't seem to get any data, and you mentioned that I got to set up my brand first before I can start tracking stuff, and I set that up, and after that the data start flowing in. But I think that there may be some of you in the audience right now who actually tested out Nozzle on the first day, and you thought, hey, it didn't work. Maybe this tool is buggy or something like that. I think that it's time to take a second look in Nozzle. Don't be turned off because Derek quickly fixed the onboarding issue on the second day, I think, right?
I think every day for the first 10 days, we launched a new onboarding step
Feature.
or a
Yep.
change because we were right. That's the best part is we had so many people going through. It was this awesome A/B testing experience, and we had some uh, Hotjar recordings where we actually could watch, where people were clicking and where they were getting stuck. And so that's been the best part is both, I mean, watching what people did and then hearing feedback and really being able to iterate quickly on how can we make this less scary for a first time user. And obviously
Yeah.
there's still more to do, but it's already 10 or 100 times better than it was on day one.
Yeah. I think that people who, because there are some people in the community, right, where they treat the UX really seriously. And personally for me, I think that UX is important. UI is less important. I could deal with an ugly interface, but as long I know how to use it, I'm fine with it. Some people are they everyone is different. People have different preferences, and
Yep.
Nozzle came from an enterprise solution where Derek and his team would be speaking to some of the top executive, and actually showing them how to make use of the tool, and onboard them face to face. So if you are if you are so when Derek launched this tool, we are sort of the guinea pigs for the UX. Right? So because when we started to use Nozzle, we got to figure out our way, and that's when Derek comes in and quickly solves those UX issue. So they have put in a lot of effort to fix this, and they are very quick. So I'm sure if you try it right now, because I'm already onboarded, I can't onboard myself again. So whoever is you had second thoughts about Nozzle on the first day, be sure to check them out again. Before they leave the AppSumo store, right? So how do you feel about the community so far, the LTD community?
It's great, honestly. So I've been an AppSumo user myself for 5 or 6 years. I've bought almost 100 deals, I think, and but I wasn't even aware about these Facebook groups and this whole community. I just did it because you know, I mean, you all get it. um, right? And just like your group is named, the Use Your LTD
LTD.
Pros,
Yeah.
right? Most of them I haven't set up. I just kind of buy them and see if the company sticks around, see if they,
Yeah, it's
say, hey,
sometimes it's kind of like Kickstarter or Indiegogo, right?
yeah,
When you talk about lifetime deals and AppSumo and other deal sites as well, it kind of feels like Kickstarter and Indiegogo, where you buy in and the product gets delivered to you like 6 months later.
yep,
Right?
exactly.
So and that's, I think, some of us, that's how we feel as well when we buy. So some of them, they get shelved, and then we pull them out later when we see, oh, there's a update, there's a big update for this too, and maybe it's time to test it out, right?
Yep,
Personally for me, I love using the LTDs. Of course, some are not ready, but I would say those are a small percentage of my tools. Nozzle is definitely something that is already in use on a daily basis already, right? And it's Nozzle. It's something that you guys, if you were to purchase it right now, you can already start using it and benefiting from it. So I think it's a great option for all of you. And so let's go back a little bit into the something a little bit more, I would say, difficult to bring up, right? This is where the uglies are, right?
sure.
So we understand that every startup founder, would love to have a glorious exit, right? But some of them have left the lifetime license owners stranded and abandoned, right? There are a couple of examples that has happened so far, and I'm sure you're seeing some of the uglies happening in the group as well.
Yeah,
So while some startups fail and are not able to keep up with maintaining their services, those who succeed also seem to abandon their early supporters who funded their marketing and development budget in the first place. And not just that, we tested out your tool, we give you feedback, we give you feature requests for you to develop your tool and to reach a bigger different demographics, right? um,
yep.
so what's your perspective on this, and would you be even putting any conditions down if let's say one day Nozzle gets acquired, that lifetime license owners will be protected or somewhat compensated as well, right? If so, what would they be?
Yeah, so I've got a couple of things about that. One is we've had a lot of people asking, "Oh, I wish that there were higher tiers or more available." And honestly, right, the easy answer today would be, "Sure, please, we'll make a tier 10. Give us $1,000, right?" And uh, there have been plenty of other tools that have gone into the $1,000+ tier range. But honestly, like I feel like they're just taking your cash right now because it's easy, but it's unlikely to be sustainable in the long run. And so for us, we were very deliberate when we said, okay, we're going to do our tier 1, 2, and 3. And these are deals that we know that we can commit to serving literally for a lifetime, right? There's nothing more frustrating than having features stripped away or having the entire plan destroyed. And so for us, that was very important, was to say we're only going to offer deals that we are committed to supporting forever. And so that's what we've done. That's what we've offered. And that's why we're not, again, even though we could make a little more cash by adding some extra tiers, I don't want to be in a situation a year or 3 years from now where we say, oh, this just isn't sustainable.
Yep, I
And
think that's a good model as well. There are people who because I think that when there's some founders, right, they launch a lifetime deal and they are very happy, they love us because we give a lot.
I think I'm still live. We'll wait to see if Henry comes back. In the meantime, I'll keep going, hoping that people are still watching. So, talking about the future. Oh,
Oops, sorry
Andy's
about
back.
that. Yep. I think I had a small little disconnection right there. So, what I was saying was, I'm sure you're getting some power users as well that are using Nozzle in a way that you might not even have thought of, right? So, what I want to say is that uh some of them they want to sell like everything, unlimited sub accounts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It sounds very uh, alluring to us as buyers, but uh what happens is sometimes we don't want to you come to love us when you run the lifetime deal, but
Yep.
after the lifetime deal some of you might feel that we become like a burden to your business as well,
Right.
and I don't think that that should be the right way. And of course I think Derek is already being very generous with the limits. Let's say if we get a tier 3, right, I think it's a little bit more than sufficient as a solo entrepreneur, in fact. And if you run anything more than that, then I don't think it's too expensive to pay for the overage, right? Because it's just about $5 or so for 1,000 keyword pools. And I think Derek is also counting on us that our businesses would grow and we wouldn't mind paying that that money, right? We got more keywords indexed over time, and then we want to be tracking them. And I think we would be fine paying a small amount just to uh, have everything within Nozzle itself, right?
Yep. That's the hope. And I also wanted to say, right, another thing that frustrates me as a longtime lifetime deal purchaser is I hate it when to upgrade, you're forced to give up your whole lifetime plan. And so it's again, the way we've structured it, you can go into overages, or even if you want to actually buy a recurring plan, you'll still maintain all of your AppSumo monthly credits, no matter what you end up doing with Nozzle in the future. So
Yep.
there's never going to be that choice of, I wish I didn't have to give up my things like I need because I need X amount
Yeah,
more.
you got to consider your decision, right? But with the Nozzle Absumo lifetime deal, the limits that we get is it forms the base of our account already. So that's the base, and then whatever you use would be on top of the Absumo plan that you have, right? So I think that's all I have to ask. Derek, it's been a pleasure to have you. I am really impressed by the amount of experience that you have, because you have dabbled in so many different things. Of course, building softwares and working with data is your passion, but you have
Yep.
also you are not someone to shy away from trying out new experiences, right? And I think that helps you to create a better software, especially with Nozzle right here, right? So do you have anything else that you want to share with our community before we end off this stream here?
Just to answer the second question you have there on, what happens if we get
Right.
acquired. Obviously, it's hard to read into the future, um, but again, one of the benefits of having a mature, established company come to AppSumo is we've been around for 7 years. We have a sustainable business model. This isn't, oh, our only chance of, please, I got to get enough cash in the bank to fund, something into the future, and I hope I can build a sustainable model. We've been doing it. We know what we're doing, and we don't have any intention of selling anywhere in the future. Obviously, if someone came and backed up a truck to my house full of cash, I'm not going to say that there's no chance. But again, as a longtime lifetime deal user, I would absolutely make it so that any existing Nozzle customers are going to have uh, their terms and conditions honored during any such acquisition. And again, it's impossible for me to promise anything right now. Like, if there's anything about me personally and Nozzle as a company, as a reflection of that, is I'm always going to be very transparent. I'm not going to promise you things. I'll tell you what the plans are, but I'm not going to promise a deadline that I'm not sure I can't hit. I'm not going to promise anything that I don't 100% believe in, and I'm not going to BS you if there's a bug or right. No matter what happens, I'm going to be very straightforward, and
Awesome.
that's I that's the kind of people I want to work with, and that's one of the great things about this community is we've gotten very honest and candid feedback, and sometimes it's not the easiest to hear when people complain about it not being easy to use, but at the end of the day, it's making the product better and it's making it better for everyone else, and we're excited to grow with this community.
Right. I think that's I think what is difficult to answer, of course, is what's going to happen in the future, right? And in the off chance that someone you know puts out a incredible offer for your business, we wouldn't know how that was going to turn out. But at least for Derek and his team right now, they are sustainable, right? They are sustainable. They are running they already have enterprise clients working with them, and this lifetime deal is just to accelerate their tool into the more to the B2C market, where we as solo entrepreneurs then be able to make use of Nozzle as well, right? So I think, do you have anything else that you'd like to share with the community before we end off?
You brought up that rewards panel. One other thing I wanted to mention. So during the AppSumo deal, that those all of those polls are going to be added to your lifetime allowance in the future after this AppSumo deal is done. So we have no intention of ever coming back to AppSumo, to any other lifetime deal store. This is it. So, right, I know that a lot of times people are really hoping for coming back for Black Friday or whatever. There's always tools coming back. And again, is it possible? Yes, right. But honestly, right now I have zero intention of ever making this available again. And for the rewards, again, those will be lifetime if you do it during this AppSumo campaign. But once that's over, those will any future rewards will likely have an expiration. They'll be good for 2 years or something like that. So make sure to take advantage of them while they're still going to convert into lifetime
So that
keyword
means
gold.
the rewards page is only going to be kept live until the end of the AppSumo deal.
So the rewards page will stick around, but the rewards won't be lifetime. They will be limited.
So that means a one-off, right? So that means whatever was that I showed on the rewards page, it is going to be lifetime monthly pools right now.
Yep,
But after the AppSumo lifetime deal, it's going to turn into like a one-off credit, something like that,
yep.
right? So those of you who have already purchased Nozzle, be sure to do it before the end of Nozzle's lifetime deal on AppSumo. They have already been on for about a month now. Is that correct?
That's correct. And
Right.
we have said before that we thought we had signed for a 30-day campaign. And so we thought, and I've even said that we were expecting to end this coming week. But we did find out a couple days ago that we're on for 60 days. So we've got another month. And that was, again, I wasn't being disingenuous when, if you see any comments talking about that, I honestly thought this was, actually, I thought this was going to be like our leaving AppSumo webinar.
Yeah, because I think
Scattered.
you mentioned something along those lines as well. Then, but I think yesterday you told me that we're actually on 60 days, something like that, right? So yeah, so once again, right? Let me just share the rewards page because I think this is, I think a lot of people has already gotten Nozzle, but I think not many people know about the rewards page. So let me just share
Yep,
that
we just
again.
launched it a couple, like 2 days ago, I think, or a day and a half ago.
Yep. So once again, you can get about 5,000 over additional monthly pools. So if you got a tier 3, right, you'll be getting like 26 over 1,000 monthly pools. And let me see like how many keywords would that be, right? So let's say you were to, oops, my bad. Say this is the you get like close, sorry, my bad, it's 30, you get like close to 900 keywords if you were to pull them daily, right? Of course you can schedule them on a custom schedule on a weekly basis, monthly basis, then you'll be able to track even more keywords as well. So you just need to post a review on your website, post a review on G2, post a review on Captura, post a review on Trustpilot, post your thoughts on LinkedIn, post a screenshot to Facebook, tweet about Nozzle, uh, retweet user testimonials, and retweet and like Nozzle's Twitter thread right here. And you'll be able to claim all these additional monthly posts, right? And Derek, just before we end off, I would like to ask one more question so that we can help more people who are on the fence right now on Nozzle to make a decision, right? So there are many competitors right now that are on. I mean, there's a competitor right now that's on lifetime deal, right? What would you say to people that are on the fence right now to and maybe some of them have similar tools on rank tracking. Okay, what would you say to them to take a closer look at Nozzle, maybe to even jump in with Nozzle instead?
Sure, yeah. So if you're interested in the data that's on the SERP, there's literally not one other tool on the market. Doesn't matter if it's a lifetime deal that we're competing with today, or if it's the most expensive enterprise tool that exists. There is no other tool that is giving you as much data as Nozzle is on the SERP. You can't get it. And so, and again, because we're an enterprise level tool, it doesn't matter, right? You might be a solopreneur now, but obviously, I assume your hopes are that you're going to grow and become, bigger, and Nozzle's going to be able to grow with you. We've got some of the biggest companies in the world already working with us. And so no matter where you grow, Nozzle's going to be able to support that growth. And there are very few lifetime deals that can say that.
Awesome, right? Because I think that it's not just that Nozzle is going to support us, but I think that if you start tracking on a bigger scale, like your brand in general, I think that's going to help you to grow even more, right? Because sometimes just pushing your domain rankings might not be able to help you to rank higher, as in to get more customers, right? Maybe there's an editorial, right, that is from a big reputable website, and you push that up in the search result, that might even get you even more customers, right? We never
Exactly.
know. And I would just like to reiterate again that I think that Nozzle is not a rank tracker. It's way more than a rank tracker. And if you want something that really tracks your entire brand organic reach, I think there's nothing like that on the market. It seems like Nozzle is the only one doing this. Right. So I think that's all I have for everyone. And thanks, Derek, for being here. It's been a great session. It's really awesome speaking to you. I enjoy hearing about your stories. Hopefully, we can have a chat again very soon. Right. And that's all I have. Bye bye. I'll see you
So,
in the
Jen,
next episode.